Alright, this was one of the first boats I made a video on. It was that Evinrude FICHT injected motor. Would run and it wouldn't, and I had the fuel system apart, and it would run great and then it wouldn't, and oh my goodness. Anyway, what it ended up being, pretty interesting. Obviously you see what we got on there now. That's the OPTI, sort of the I think Mercury worked with the Australians, made up a system where Mercury pumps air to 90 plus psi to overcome combustion pressure because it's a direct injected motor, whereas the Evinrude FICHT motor actually uses sort of an electromagnetic slammer jammer to push that fuel to overcome compression. And they may have had some issues with it. They worked with the Germans on this one, you know, normally German engineering, sure, but man, it's in a boat. Look at the environment it's in. Runs 6,000 RPMs all day long, you know, 50 or 56, whatever it's supposed to run. But still, man, imagine that. A little electromagnet moving 6,000 times a minute for 1,000 hours. Anyway, so what happened is the fuel pump, it's sort of like a Carter fuel system, right? It gets cooled by lake water coming from the water pump. It's supposed to cool the vapor separator, which keeps the cool fuel to keep you from getting a vapor lock and such. Well, the port, or the coil that the water runs through to keep the fuel cool, was clogged. Okay, well, no big deal. It was clogged, right? Well, it was clogged in the fuel pump. Well, when it exits the fuel pump, it's got something else to cool. It cools the computer, the brain that drives the 6 slammer jammer injectors on your OMC FICHT injected motor. Well, I came out here and, you know, he just ran the motor, and I had the cowling off, and I put my hand, the computer, the brain, or whatever you want to call it, the ECU, ECM, CPU, whatever it is on the top of the motor. I put my hand on that son of a bitch and about burnt my palm. And that's what led me to, there's no water circulation here, and then there's no water circulation here because from here it goes here. So, after discussions and you know, God, how much is it going to be to repair the computer? You can't buy anything new. It was a 2001, but they don't sell new parts for it because they think they've had some problems with them. Anyway, talked to some guy in Southern California here who's the OMC expert guru, the only one with the computer that can sense the 32 sensors on the motor, and he basically told my customer, hey man, why don't you at this point buy a new motor? We'd love to see those motors out of service. That made me so happy. So we went and bought a Merc. We got it used from some shop in Temecula. Really cool shop. The guy started and ran, did a compression test and everything for my customer. It was in saltwater, had about 900 hours on it, 700 or so trolling. So, but you know, a little worried about the thermostats. I can't even get the screws to move. I'm going to tackle that some other day. Anyway, we got it running, we got it on, and they're fishing.